Okay, you guys, what is up? The King of Lightning is here today to do Magi. Holy shit, Magi. Chapter 232. Reaction and review. Now, the thing here is that I have stuff to do. So, because of this stuff to do, there's a lot of stuff to do. I'm going to do both the reaction and the review in the same video, and I am not doing a live reaction. I've already read the chapter. So this chapter of Magi is really simple, but it does cover a lot of shit. And it wraps up a lot of the, well, I should say it answers a lot of the questions that we had before. Especially the one about the Black Rook. And yo, it's crazy, man. Like, look at Sheba's eyes. Like, the moment everyone finds out that they are in this inescapable cage of destiny where they have no free will of their own, and everything that they suffer through is just a part of the greater scheme of Ilah, of God. And how Solomon says, fuck that shit, we taking over. We taking over! We taking over, man! He's like, no! None of this shit. We have all this Magi around us. We taking you out. And Arba tries to stop him, but no. We taking you out. And Ugo's like, I got you. You my boy. I got you. Don't worry about it. And I felt bad for Sheba, because Sheba, I mean, understandably so, very, very, I guess the word is distraught, that Solomon is willing to leave her, quote unquote leave her, in the physical sense, and become this entity of Magi and infuse his will upon the world. This is a will. I mean, like, let me go to the last page, because the last page was probably the best drawn out page. Look, I mean, look at this page, man. Oh my God. Just the world, and then you see the White Rook. Finally, the White Rook. And then you just see Solomon just chilling. And there's text. Solomon's will becomes one with the will. That's to me, it's epic. It's epic because it's like, dude, like Solomon, he fucking did it. And let me just say this, all right? This probably applies to the current world as well, but we find out in essence what White Rook and Black Rook are. And when it comes, and this to me I think was like the main thing, like when it came to the answers that we got, this to me I think was the best answer, like the answer that supersedes all of the answers that we got. Black Rook, technically, at this point in time, meaning on Amatoran, is not regression, but more so it follows the chain. It follows the path of destiny that Ilah had set out, which he showed every magician when his tentacles touched Solomon, Arba, Sheba, and Ugo. And since they were all connected, because they all have like the third eye, the organ that the organ that housed the Magi of Ilah, that means that every magician found out. And technically it's not a regression. Technically it's not. More or less it's destiny, and we're gonna follow this route. And it doesn't matter what you experience. We're gonna move forward. But that doesn't mean that, because in the current world there is this distinction of despair and just darkness in general when it comes to the Black Rook. And then there's joy and happiness and euphoria when it comes to the White Rook. But in the current world of Amatoran, there is no clear distinction yet. Like when it came to the initial Black Rook, the joy, the Black Rook was the culmination of all of these things. That's it. More or less, the original Black Rook comprised of both the current black rook and the white rook. It was everything. It was joy, it was sorrow, it was despair, it was euphoria, it was all these things that comprised the black rook. And it didn't matter what you experienced, the world will still move forward. It didn't matter if you were still in despair, you would still move forward. But what Solomon does is that he creates a rook, a white rook, that specifically orients to his will, where it appears that joy and euphoria will always supersede despair, and that's the way he has set it up so far. But later on, we know that there's a clear distinction. And it winds up being the case where you have the black rook, which is the will of Ilah, and you have the white rook, which is the will of Solomon. And these two rooks, if you would, because Ilah is now just a husk, and even though his body is sealed in another space, Ilah still resides. So because Ilah's body is a husk and it lacks Magi, the whole concept of consuming Magi, when it comes to the basis power of the black rook, is probably due to that reason. Because Ilah has no Magi of its own, so it needs the Magi that it once had. So at the end of the series, it is possible that we may get to see either Ilah's complete destruction, or Ilah have its Magi returned to it. But Ilah has a change of mind or essence, whatever. It sees something else in humanity, where humanity is simply not just fucking goddamn or wait, hold on. Actually, there's a third option here. Well, there's multiple options, right? There's so many things that could happen. But I remember how they were trying to find this way. According to Aladdin. Aladdin, he's trying to find this because I remember Mogamet, before he died, he told him this: is there a way for you to change black rook into white rook? Alright? If you can figure that shit out, then we'd be set. Now, I don't know if, because technically, even though black rook is the will of Ilah, Ilah himself should not have any rook. So, it wouldn't really affect Ilah's body. Ilah's body would still be trapped in another plane of space. However, it would prevent access to Ilah. Because if you could always change black rook back into white rook, you can't gain access to Ilah. So Ilah would be forever trapped in this other plane of space. So there's also that option as well. That option of just not killing Ilah, but just sealing Ilah for all eternity. Some shit like that. So, that being said, overall, well, there's other things to chapter 2. Again, I did feel bad for Sheba, because Sheba, here is Solomon, technically, I guess, not on paper, but I guess via word of mouth, husband and wife. You know, like how they pull the Game of Thrones, wildlings, I am yours and you are mine, some shit like that. So, thing here is that this is the change, right? This is where shit goes down with Arba. I mean, with Sheba. This is where shit goes really down. And I don't know at what point in time she's going to experience the black root, per se, but she is. And she's going to be like, you know what, Solomon, fuck this shit. Alright? I mean, when you have Ren Gyoku, aka Sheba, and I think it's her, I don't see why not, but we'll find out later on. She talks about the arrogance of Solomon. She, at this point in time, didn't really complain about Solomon ripping off the rook from Ilah. There we go. Yeah. It was Arba. Arba, she was the one. She was like, no, I cannot allow you to do this. Solomon, you shall not pass. But he did. And it was like, no, you failed. You failed. So the thing here is that Arba, she was clearly more concerned about Solomon. I mean, she was clearly more concerned about the well-being of Ilah than Solomon. And she was deflected by, like, the staff that Elder David had. So it seems like Elder David had planned this out from the get-go. Like, he knew that Arba would try and stop Solomon. But also, I stated before that Sheba, because when you first look at Sheba, when Sheba is first thrown into the story, she cares deeply about Ilah. Ilah is her life. Ilah is everything to her. And I'm pretty sure that once the other magicians find out specifically what Solomon did, where even though they were crying tears when they found out that what they did, wait, hold on, for the third time, when they found out that what they had just experienced is destiny that cannot be altered, it's destiny that you cannot escape from, alright? It's just another stepping stone for Ilah to attain Almatoran through his will. And then when they find out that Solomon not only has imposed his own will, but it goes for every being, not just the magicians, but every being. So it's kind of like, what the fuck? So at the end of the day, the talking horses and, well, I don't know about the damn, the red lions. The red lions were cool. They were like, yo, like, you guys do your thing. We're good over here by ourselves, right? Fuck y'all. But when they find out that these species can also reap the benefits of the rook itself, it's like, shit, what the fuck? And mainly the Magis, which of course we know later on become Sheba, who are Sheba, Arba, and Ugo, how they are ones who, since they were there with Solomon in the other dimension, they have an affinity towards the rook. But the point here is this, though. Okay. Sheba, Ren Gyokuen, she may still want Solomon, as in like the sense of a lover, like someone, because she continuously talks about his arrogance. But when the rook was being ripped off of, when Solomon revealed what his plan was at that moment, she wasn't freaking out because Ilah was about to perish, in a sense, but because Solomon was going to leave her, was going to leave her. So, at what point in time does that transform to his arrogance? Like, there's something going on there. We're going to find out at some point. At some point. But at this point in time, there is still no reason to believe that Sheba becomes like what she is today. In fact, more so than Sheba, Arba seems like she was the one to go heel, straight evil. Alright? So, not too sure. Those are my thoughts right there. So, we'll find out some point later on. We'll find out. But overall, this chapter, I think is phenomenal. But at the same time, well, no, I do like it. I'm going to give the chapter rating a grade. Because it did answer a lot of questions. The main one being the rook. We find, and we know like what the whole, the will of the black rook was in fact the rook that culminated everything. There was one path of destiny, and that one path of destiny was set by Ilah itself. And Ilah, even though he gave the power to the humans, the magicians, who they become later on, in essence, for it is insignificant. Insignificant to the max. Doesn't really give a fuck. However, with Solomon imposing his will on the Rook, there becomes two distinct types of Rook because of that reason. Because now you have two wills vying for power. At this point in time, Solomon fucking wins hands down. But later on, we know that the Black Rook becomes incorporated into the story. So now we know. Will of Solomon, will of Ilah. And Sheba actually didn't... She doesn't seem to really, you know, care that much about Ilah, but more so Solomon, the father of her child. And also, we get to see what happens to his body. So, is Solomon's body like Ilah's body, a husk? But in his case, it actually resides on the planet. And it's still king. Because we start off this arc with the main body just talking. It's talking to Sheba. So, that's a question we'll find out. But we now know how it happened. The main body jumped in age. It spiked in age. Because the will of Solomon had dispersed off the planet, had become one with the Rook, and he became God. So that's pretty cool. So overall, the chapter rating is going to be great. And I will see you guys later. King Lightning, rate the video, comment, subscribe. Have a nice day.